Imagine spending 2 years building an audience on a single platform. You publish consistently, you grow steadily, you reach thousands of people every week, and then, overnight, the algorithm changes. Your reach drops by 60%, your views fall, your traffic disappears. The audience you spent 2 years building, you can no longer reach them. Not because you did anything wrong, because the platform decided something different. This has happened to YouTube creators, to bloggers after Google core updates, to Instagram accounts after feed algorithm shifts, to Etsy sellers after search policy changes. Every time it happens to someone, there's a version of the same story underneath it. The creator built their audience on rented land, and the landlord changed the rules. Phase 2 is the answer to that story. It's how you move your audience from a platform you don't control to an asset you own outright. And it's the phase that makes every other phase of this portfolio possible. Phase 1 builds attention. That's its entire job. Every video published, every article written, every piece of content that goes out into the world serves one purpose: putting you in front of people who didn't know you existed. Phase 2 answers the question that Phase 1 creates. Once someone finds you, where do they go? If the answer is they subscribe to my YouTube channel or they follow me on Instagram, they've moved from unknown to interested, but they're still on rented land. The platform is still between you and them. If the answer is they join my email list, something different has happened. They've moved from your audience to your asset. Here's why that distinction matters for every phase that follows. Phase 3 is your first digital product. The difference between a product launched to a cold audience and a product launched to a warm email list is not a small difference. It's the difference between silence and sales. Phase 4 is affiliate income. The affiliate recommendations that convert at 3 to 5% are the ones made in email. The people who trust your judgment. The same recommendation made on social media converts at a fraction of that rate. Phase 5 is a membership. The people who join your membership are overwhelmingly people who have been on your email list for months, not people who just found your YouTube channel last week. Phase 2 is not optional infrastructure. It's the engine every later phase runs on. Let's talk about exactly why email is different from every other distribution channel. When you post a video on YouTube, the platform decides who sees it. It factors in watch history, click-through rate, session duration, and dozens of other signals you don't control and can't fully understand. The content you create might reach 5% of your subscribers or 50%, depending on factors outside your visibility. When you post on Instagram, organic reach for business accounts averages below 5%. You have 10,000 followers and 500 of them see your post. When you send an email, 100% of your subscribers receive it. Your average open rate determines how many read it. 30 to 40% for a niche website is common. That's 300 to 400 people actively reading your content out of every 1,000 subscribers. Not 50, 300. The conversion rate difference is even more stark. A product recommendation on social media converts at less than 1% for most creators. An affiliate link click on YouTube converts at 0.5 to 2%. The same recommendation made in a newsletter to a warm list converts at 3 to 5%, and for highly trusted senders with engaged lists, significantly higher. Here's the structural difference. You own the email list. The subscriber addresses live in your account. If Beehiiv were to shut down tomorrow, you export your list and rebuild on a new platform within a day. If YouTube were to ban your channel tomorrow, the audience is gone. Email is also the only distribution channel where the relationship you've built with your audience transfers if you pivot. Move to a new niche, launch a new brand, your email list comes with you. You need an email platform. Two options dominate for creators in this space: Beehiiv and ConvertKit. For most people starting phase 2, Beehiiv is the better starting point, and here's why. Beehiiv was built specifically for newsletters. The interface is clean, the subscriber experience is polished, and the monetization features, paid subscriptions, the boosts, program for cross-promotion, and sponsorship connections are native to the platform. The free tier allows up to 2,500 subscribers with unlimited sends. ConvertKit is a strong second choice, particularly for creators who need sophisticated automation. If your Phase 3 digital product launch involves complex email sequences triggered by specific subscriber behaviors, ConvertKit's visual automation builder is the better tool. The free tier is more limited at 1,000 subscribers. For Phase 2 specifically, the distinction that matters is this: Beehiiv makes it easier to create a newsletter your subscribers want to read. ConvertKit makes it easier to build sequences that respond to subscriber behavior. Phase 2 is about building a relationship with an audience. Newsletters win on relationship, so start with Beehiiv. When your automation needs more complex in Phase 3 and beyond, you can evaluate whether to migrate. Setup takes about 30 minutes. Publication name, publication description, subscription page, and a basic domain or subdomain. That's the infrastructure. Everything else builds on top of it. A lead magnet is the reason someone subscribes instead of just watching. Without a lead magnet, asking someone to join your email list is asking them to trade their contact information for the vague promise of future value. Most people won't do it. With a compelling lead magnet, you're offering an immediate, specific, tangible piece of value in exchange for their email address. The trade is concrete. The people know exactly what they're getting the moment they subscribe. The best lead magnets share 3 characteristics. They solve one specific problem your audience has. They can be consumed in under 10 minutes, and they provide immediate, practical value. The subscriber should be able to apply something from it within hours of downloading it. You don't need to spend a week on this. The formats that convert best are often the simplest, like a checklist, a one-page list of specific actions for a common task your audience does, like the 10-point checklist before you launch your first digital product. Canva, 30 minutes. A resource list, a curated collection of tools, platforms, and resources relevant to your niche, like the 15 tools I use to run digital product businesses. A PDF with descriptions and links, 1 hour. A mini guide, a concise 3 to 5 page guide answering a specific question your audience consistently asks. Not comprehensive, just focused. A template, a reusable format your audience can adapt. A content calendar template, a product launch email template, a weekly newsletter framework. There's one rule. The lead magnet should be directly relevant to the first thing you're going to sell in Phase 3. If your Phase 3 product is a guide to setting up a digital product store, your lead magnet should be something like a checklist for what you need before your first product launch. The subscriber who downloads the lead magnet is already interested in the problem your product solves. Here's how all the pieces connect. The subscription funnel is the mechanism that turns your Phase 1 content into a Phase 2 owned audience. So, step 1, content. Your YouTube video or your blog post is reaching new people through search or suggested content. Someone watches or reads and finds it genuinely useful. Step 2, the call to action. At the end of your video or embedded in your article, you mention your newsletter and your lead magnet. Specifically, not vaguely. I've put together a free checklist that covers the 5 steps we just walked through. The link to grab it is in the description. Step 3, the landing page. The link goes to your Beehiiv subscribe page, a simple page describing who the newsletter is for, what subscribers receive, and what the lead magnet is. 2 to 4 sentences, 1 subscribe form. Step 4, lead magnet delivery. Immediately after subscribing, the first email delivers the lead magnet. Fast delivery is critical. People who subscribe and immediately receive what they were promised have a dramatically better first impression than people who wait 24 hours. Step 5, the welcome sequence, a series of 3 to 5 emails that follows the lead magnet delivery. We'll cover these specifically in the next section. Step 6, weekly newsletter. After the welcome sequence completes, subscribers enter your regular publishing cadence. 1 email per week, consistent value, no exceptions. Step 7, trust, the invisible output of the entire funnel. A subscriber who receives the lead magnet, reads the welcome sequence, and opens 4 or 5 consecutive weekly newsletters has developed a meaningful level of trust in your judgment. That trust is what makes phases 3, 4, and 5 possible. The funnel doesn't require complex automation. In Beehiiv, this entire system can be set up in an afternoon. Built once, running automatically. The welcome sequence is the most important set of emails you'll ever write. It's the first impression, the relationship foundation, and the trust engine that makes everything that follows more effective. 5 emails, 10 days. Here's the framework. Email 1, here's your lead magnet. Lead magnet name. Deliver the resources immediately. Nothing else. Email 2, the most useful thing I've made for whatever your audience's problem is. Your single best existing content piece. No selling. Email 3, why I started this. The real story. Your origin story. Build personal connection. Email 4, another resource you'll want to bookmark. Second valuable content piece. Reinforces consistent value. Email 5, something I made that might help you. First, soft product mention. One mention, no pressure. Email 1, deliver the lead magnet. The only goal of this email is to deliver what you promised and deliver it immediately. So keep it brief. The lead magnet link should be in the first sentence. Email 2, you share your most useful piece of content. 2 to 3 days after email 1, no selling, no product mention, just genuine helpfulness. The email says, there's more where that came from. Email 3, you tell your story, who you are, why you started this, what you're building, and why it matters to you. Not a resume, not a pitch, a real explanation of what brought you here. Subscribers who know your story are twice as likely to open future emails. Email 4, share another useful piece of content. Different topic than email 2. This establishes the pattern. You show up with value, reliably. Email 5, the soft introduction. The first mention of anything you sell, recommend, or offer. Not a launch, a natural mention. I put together a guide that covers this in depth. It's the resource I wish I'd had when I was starting. You can find it here. That's it. The discipline that defines a good welcome sequence, 4 emails of pure value before one mention of a product or affiliate recommendation. Build the trust account before you make a withdrawal. The welcome sequence runs once. The weekly newsletter runs forever. And here's the framework for a newsletter your subscribers will actually read. 1 focused topic per issue, not a roundup of 5 things that happened this week. 1 thing, explored usefully. The subscribers who most value your newsletter are the ones who can predict what they're going to get when they open it. The format that works consistently, a short opening hook that names the specific thing you're covering and why it matters right now. A main value section that delivers on that promise, a framework, a breakdown, a how-to, a case study, or a lesson learned. 1 recommendation or resource with a genuine explanation of why you're sharing it. And 1 specific call to action, not 3, not 5, 1. The 1 CTA rule is the rule most newsletters violate. Every additional link or ask you include reduces the likelihood that any single one gets clicked. Pick the 1 thing you want subscribers to do this week. Everything else waits for next week. Length, 400 to 700 words for most niche newsletters. Your subscribers should be able to read the full issue in 4 to 6 minutes. Frequency, once per week, non-negotiable. The cadence is what builds the relationship. A subscriber who receives your newsletter every Tuesday for 6 weeks knows to expect it. Break that cadence, and you break the habit. Here's what success in phase 2 actually looks like, and more importantly, what it doesn't look like. Vanity metrics that feel good but don't predict anything, like total subscriber count, social media follower count, total impressions. Single metrics that predict revenue and retention, open rate, click rate, replies, and unsubscribes. Open rate is your primary health indicator. A 30% or higher open rate means you're sending content people want to read. Below 20% is a signal that something needs to change. Click rate measures whether your content creates action. A 2 to 4% click rate on a regular newsletter issue is healthy. Above 5% means you're writing about something your audience cares about deeply enough to act on. Replies are the strongest trust signal available. A subscriber who replies to your email has moved from passive consumer to active participant. The phase 2 success criteria. 200 to 500 engaged subscribers with a 30% or higher open rate. Not total subscribers, engaged subscribers. A list of 500 people who open your emails and click your links is worth more than a list of 5,000 who don't. So here's your weekend challenge. 5 actions to start phase 2 this week. Number 1, create a free Beehiiv account. Set up publication name and basic subscribe page. It takes 30 minutes. Number 2, design your lead magnet, a Canva checklist, a resource list, or mini guide, relevant to your phase 3 product idea. Step 3, write email 1 of your welcome sequence. The lead magnet delivery email, warm, brief, delivers immediately. Step 4, add your Beehiiv link to every content piece. video descriptions, blog posts, social bios, everywhere you have an audience. Step 5, write and schedule your first newsletter issue. One focused topic, 400 to 600 words, one CTA. Publish it this week. 5 actions this weekend. By Monday, you have a live email list, a lead magnet delivering automatically, and your first newsletter in the pipeline. Here's the mindset to carry into phase 2. Every subscriber you add today is worth more than the same subscriber added 6 months from now. The relationship you build with your first 100 subscribers shapes everything about how the system works for your first 1,000. Next video is phase 3, your first digital product. How to choose what to create, how to price it, how to launch it to the email list you just built, and why your first product should take a weekend, not a year. Subscribe so you know when it drops, and drop your lead magnet idea in the comments. What are you going to offer your subscribers? I read every comment. This is Evergreen Income. The compounding starts now.